Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Susan Campfield here. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Tuesday night tutorial. You might be watching on Facebook on either my page or in my group. If technology has worked for me, then we're streaming in both those. Or perhaps you're watching the replay on my YouTube channel. Wherever you are, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight we're going to make a card that is a simple layout that you can replicate with any designer series paper, and it's a great way to make a lot of cards quickly. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring in my, well, it's already here. I'm going to, let's see if I can spotlight this here. Still working on my new software. That's too little. Let's try that. There, we're going to make it big. We'll just hide me for a while. So we're going to use a stamp set called Sunny Sentiments from the annual catalog. And these are just happy sentiments, a happy hello to you. And then all these other ones that you can put on the inside, like hoping your birthday is filled with all the best things. Thank you for all the little things you do and for your big heart. You can, that matches up really well. We're going to use this one. Thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. And the other one is, I know we've been out of touch, but I think of you more often than you know, which is just kind, right? Just being kind. And we're going to use a designer series paper tonight. We're once again going to use the You're a Peach designer series paper, which is, I love these colors. It's just such happy sunny paper, isn't it? So these are the one side, and that's the flip side. Now the card we're doing, we're actually going to be able to see both sides of the paper. So I chose this one, and let me just kind of flip it back here. You can see that those two sides look well together. However, there are several others that would look really nice, like this one. That would be super cute as well. And I have a sample where I use the pansy paper. Now this one, that's actually fine too. There's no blue in this side, but it would certainly work, I think. And this one's cute. Oh my gosh, so many options, you guys. Sometimes you just have to get it done. Now that one, I probably wouldn't choose that for this card just because they are a little different. Both would be great on their own though, right? And then this one also would be super cute. So let's set this aside and let me bring in my materials here. So the cardstock size we're using is your basic. This is your go-to, right? This is your 8.5 by 5.5 scored in the middle. Just kind of your plain old regular cardstock. Let me get my bone folder. I love the bone folder because it gives me a nice sharp crease. It keeps my card nice and flat, saves my nails. So, and then I have designer series paper. So this is cut 4 by 5.25, but I'm going to cut it again because I want a piece that I'm going to flip so we can see the other side. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy paper trimmer. This is another great thing just to have around your house. My niece just asked for this for her birthday because just for like clipping coupons, and there's just times you need to cut stuff out. You need to cut it straight, and this comes in really handy for that. So I'm going to line up my designer series paper here so that I'm going to be cutting off a 1 inch. Maybe I should hold it up a little bit. Do you see the 1 inch mark right there? I'm going to line that up with that 1 inch line and just close my little guide here. I'm going to hold it down and just slide the dark gray. One is the blade. There's also a scoring blade, but we're not going to use that right now. So that's it. That's cut. Done. Moving on, right? Let's set that aside. And we're going to flip this over. So this is our layout right here. So we have a 1 inch strip and a 3 inch strip, because if you recall, originally it was 4 inches. So now if you decided you wanted to use 2 different patterns of paper, like maybe the two sides didn't go, then you could just cut a 3 by 5 1/4 and then go to your other paper pattern and cut the 1 inch by 5 1/4. Doesn't matter. And then we're just going to adhere this down. This blue is balmy blue, and it's a very calming blue. So we know that with handmade cards, the important thing is to get them to people, right? Sometimes I think, and I'm just as guilty of this, we get hung up in the particulars, like it's not good enough, or maybe it's not the right sentiment or whatever. When people are going through things, especially difficult things, like you need to send a sympathy card, or somebody that is dealing with a very serious illness, or even a not so serious illness, or just a rough time, the most important thing is to say something, right? To let them know that you care. Sometimes it's hard, like in a sympathy card, like, oh, what if I say the wrong thing, right? What if I say the wrong thing and I upset them? It is far more important that you say something, even if it's not the most perfect thing. But if you say something, that's better than not saying anything at all and pretending it doesn't exist. Does that make sense? So we're working on a quick and simple card tonight, because the whole thing is to get the cards out in the mail, right? And so it's fun to make the really complicated ones, but sometimes you just need to get it out in the mail. So this card I sent to a team member who's dealing with an illness right now, and I wanted something like really encouraging and sort of upbeat and happy. And so that, I thought this card was the perfect card. I also made this card because I double purpose my cards for one of our team swaps. That just went out in the mail on, what is this, Tuesday? Yesterday. So those of you that are doing the swap, if you're in group 1 or group 3, you'll get this card. I can't remember which group this one went to, but so now I'm going to do my sentiment. Now for my sentiment, I'm actually going to use a die cut label, because it's an extra. So if you join me on Saturday for my Facebook Live, or watch the replay in my group, I made the sympathy card with the picture this dies. And if you recall, the picture this dies cut the this mat with these 3 openings, and then you get the labels that come out of that, right? So I did this for a swap, and I ended up with a whole stack of these labels. I have a bunch of the skinny ones too, and so I used that on this card. Now, if you're making this card and you don't happen to have the labels sitting around, you can easily just cut a piece of cardstock. This is basic white, and I cut it to be almost the same size as the label, 2 5/8. Sorry, I'm not good at math. 2 5/8 by 1 1/4. In case you just don't happen to have a label laying around from your picture this dies. So, but I do. So I'm going to use it. And I'm going to use the Happy Hello sentiment. And I'm going to grab my balmy blue ink pad. On the back of your designer series paper, it lists on the cardstock all of the colors in the paper. And I like to keep that because it tells me I don't have to worry and try to match inks or whatever. And I can just grab the balmy blue because I know it will match. So let's ink up our stamp here. I love this font. Isn't that just a super fun font? So fun. Lisa Fisher's here, Cheryl's here, Karen's here. Gosh, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate it. Getting it all inky. Just checking here. Looks pretty inky to me. What do you guys think? All right. This is where I have to stand up because I do much better if I'm standing up. I just ran over some designer series paper. You really shouldn't keep your designer series paper on your floor because you run over it. All right, it's, you know what? It's a teensy bit crooked, but I'm gonna live with it because, again, it's important for me to get the card in the mail, not that it looks perfect, right? So, so we've got our Happy Hello. It's not too crooked. I mean, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to do, while I have my ink pad open here, I'm going to go ahead and do my inside sentiment. So that's going to be, thought you could use some sunny thoughts. which is just happy, right? It's just a happy sentiment. I like it. All right. So this one again, I'm standing up so that I can stamp it. Oh gosh, one of those nights where I cannot stamp straight. It's close enough. I can live with it. All right. You know, we have those scraps of cardstock for a reason, and we can cover those up, but it's not that bad. All right. So I've got my card here, and I've got my greeting. And now I'm going to add some ribbon. You don't have to add ribbon. I really like ribbon. And I have a lot of ribbon because I really like ribbon. I think it just gives the card a finished look, but I realize it's not everybody's thing. So do what feels right for you. I think this card would be cute without the ribbon, but it's even cuter when you add the ribbon. I'm using the crinkle white ribbon here, and I'm just going to chop some off. Wrap it around first and make sure I have enough. I'm not going to do a bow. I'm just keeping it simple here. I'm just going to tie a knot. And I'm holding it with my finger, the center, so I can get it nice and tight. But I'm also going to tack it down with my dimensional when I go to add it to my card. So let's just trim these ends. There we go. All right, so we've got we're ready for our sentiment, right? And you're not going to be surprised because we're going to add some bling to the sentiment. You might have seen the bling sitting right here waiting to go into play. These are really cool. They are the Artistry Blooms adhesive back sequins. They were actually in last year's catalog. They've carried over. I love them. These are I don't know if they even have official Stampin' Up! Colors. They probably do. But like this might be Pool Party, but it goes really well with Balmy Blue and really any blue. And then these are the other colors in the pack. This one's kind of a coral. This one's kind of a yellow tones. And this one goes really well with like rich raspberry and some of those purpley reds. But we're going to use these right here. So get my handy dandy take your pick tool. And I'm going to do one large and two small. They do say that doing things in threes is a little more visually attractive. I'm just deciding where I want it. What did I do on my sample? I put it over here because I liked it on my sample. I just couldn't remember what I did. There we go. And now we're just going to add some dimensionals to the back of that. This is so simple, but it's so cute. And then I'm going to show you a different designer series paper where I did this exact same layout. And that is going to go right here. Let's get it straight, Susan. There we go. And there we have our happy card. It's ready to go out in the mail. I did a lot of talking there, but that card was made it's 7:43. We started at 7:30. So that was like, it's a 10-minute card, right? It's super quick, but super cute. And who wouldn't like to get that happy in the mail, right? It's just I don't know, the font reminds me of something, but I can't think of what. But I really like it. So that's that one. Let me show you the same layout, the same sort of card sketch, if you will, with different paper. So this is with the Pansy Petals paper. It's a lot of P's. The Pansy Petal Designer Series paper. And this one is the back side of this. And I even debated whether I even wanted the pansy because it's actually quite cute without, and this is pretty busy paper. But I put the pansy to the left where it had kind of more solid behind it just to keep it from getting a little too busy. But I did really like it. And then I used the Blackberry Bliss striped ribbon, which is in the mini catalog and is carrying over, and it perfectly picks up the purple in the blackberry bliss in this pansy and also in those pansies. So that's why I chose it. And then I used the opal rounds for just some fun sparkly on the label there. So, so there's, you can see they look completely different, but it's exactly the same measurements and dimensions, right? I even used another one of those labels because I've got them. So that's a way that you can kind of change it up. This is one for my pansy class, which will be available as a tutorial. You want to see another one? Should I show you guys? Oh, sure. I'm not good at keeping secrets. I'm so excited about this card. So this is another one from the pansy class. This one is a fun fold card and it opens up like that. Isn't that fun? I got that fun fold idea from Donald Shefsky, D.O. Stampin. Super cute, fun fold. So that's another one that will be part of the pansy class tutorial. So thank you so much for joining me today. Let's go right here. There we go. Thanks, everyone. That was a quick one tonight, but I really want to encourage you to make those cards, get them in the mail, get them in the hands of the people that really need a little happy hello in their mailbox. Take care, everyone. And team members, if you're doing the swap, some of you keep an eye out for your happy hello for me in the mail. And I am getting so many fun swap cards from all of you. I'm super excited. So thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.